Guarantee your seat to this year's Stanley Cup playoffs by putting a deposit on next year's season tickets or partial plan. Call 301-386-7000 for information.
The Home Team Sports Preview Marathon brings you the home teams you want to see.
Long drive to dead center field. Back goes Willie Wilson, and this one.
Don't miss the action when the Orioles take on the Kansas City Royals. Thursday, April 14th at 7:30. The Preview Marathon, yours free until April 14th. Only on the channel you cheer for, Home Team Sports.
Yet another view of downtown Washington, D.C., this time the Treasury Building. Stanley Cup playoff action, you're seeing it live here on our Preview Marathon on Home Team Sports. And the Washington Capitals facing elimination tonight with a big effort. They lead after 2 periods of play by a score of 5-2, although they trail in the series 3-1. Welcome back, I'm Jeff Rimmer. Our second intermission will include highlights from around the National Hockey League on these Stanley Cup playoff games, games number 5. Other teams facing elimination along with the Washington Capitals. A great effort by the Caps tonight. Still 1 period to go. But before we take a look at the highlights, let's find out more about Home Team Sports. Let's head across the ice and join Leif Elsmo.
Thank you very much, Jeff. A sensational game here tonight with the Capitals. If you don't like hockey coming out of this game, you never will. This is Stanley Cup playoff in its finest form. These teams are really going at it. These numbers we're going to be showing you are your local cable operator numbers. Our Freeview ends. It's a 9-day Freeview, a Freeview marathon that ends on the 9th. That's this Thursday. Then on, you've got to be a member, a subscriber to the Home Team Sports family. We want you to join us. Caps, Bullets, right through the playoffs. The Orioles, 90 games of Oriole broadcasts. If you get a sense tonight watching this game that it's a special kind of broadcast, you're right. We bring you closer to the game than anybody we know. We take pride in that. Our Oriole broadcasts are award-winning broadcasts. And again, tonight, if you get the sense of being here with this live action, that's exactly the way we want you to feel. Please don't miss out on the Home Team Sports action beyond this Thursday. You've got to call your local cable operator. Join us for the year. It's the best sports bargain in town. Jeff?
Thank you, Leif Elsmo. Home Team Sports, you see it all. The Bullets, the Capitals, and of course the Orioles, who are in action tonight. We'll have an update for you from Memorial Stadium. And this is the managerial debut as an Oriole for Frank Robinson. Stay tuned. We're going to show you some highlights around the National Hockey League here on night number 5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stay tuned.
The Bullets are a great time out. You can go crazy cheering loud.
Last year, the Bullets hosted a record 11 sellouts. This season, you can guarantee yourself great seats to all the action and free American Airlines travel certificates. For information on season tickets or the 15-game plan, call NBA Dunk. That's NBA Dunk.
The Bullets are a great time out. The Bullets are a great time out.
If you're searching for great oldies on the radio, the search ends here.
Extra 104, now with 10 great oldies in a row.
Well, she was just 17.
Extra 104 is the only Washington radio station that gives you great oldies all the time. Great oldies from the 60s, back-to-back, non-stop.
You just keep me hanging on.
So, for your favorite oldies anytime, remember, set a button on your radio to 104.1 FM. Extra 104, great oldies all the time.
We would like to reassure all parents who are expecting a child. Relax. Your child's delivery is in the right hands. TWA's Child Care Program.
I get paid to fly on TWA. I'm part of the new quality control team. I report directly to the chairman on what's good and what needs improving. When he's happy, you're happy.
Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over.
What's up?
It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here.
Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did he get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Home Team Sports brings you the teams you want to see. The Orioles, the Capitals, the Bullets, the playoffs, So call now to subscribe and you'll receive the Home Team Sports magazine free. Plus a special bonus section with discount coupons including 2-for-1 Oriole tickets. Home Team Sports Preview Marathon. It's free for a limited time, so call your cable operator now and sign up for Home Team Sports.
The Washington Capitals with their backs against the wall. A supreme effort here tonight, and they are aided by an enthusiastic crowd, a playoff-type crowd at the Capitol Center. They lead the Philadelphia Flyers by 3 goals. Remember, they trail in this series by a 3-1 count. Facing elimination, a big effort by the Capitals. Let's look around the National Hockey League. Other teams are in the same position as the Washington Capitals tonight, and we got to look at our Stroh's out-of-town scoreboard. The pivotal 5th game, the series tied 2-2 between the Islanders and the New Jersey Devils. They're tied 1-1. They're now in the second period. Now Hartford facing elimination, coming from behind to win over Montreal in Game 4. Trailing in the series 3-1, are leading the Canadiens by a score of 2-1. Goals by Dineen and Wilson. McPhee has the lone Montreal goal. That game's at the Forum in Montreal. A wild game, the pivotal 5th game in the Boston-Buffalo series. We're going to get a look at the highlights. We showed you earlier a goal by Steve Kasper. We pick up the highlights here right now for the Buffalo Sabres, and this is Christian Ruutu scoring in the opening minute of the second period to make it 2-1 Boston. The Bruins had led 2-0 on a goal by Middleton. Kasper, you saw that goal. Ruutu makes it 2-1. And now Dave Andreychuk moving in over the blue line, and he lets this drive go. And he beats Andy Moog, so we're tied now after the second period, or in the second period, at 2-2. And now the go-ahead goal. The Boston Bruins were up 2-0. Buffalo off the hook, and they tie the game. But here's Kenny Linsman with this drive from the face-off circle to the left, and he beats the goaltender Daryl Pupa, and that is now a 3-2 score for the Buffalo Sabres. For Linsman, by the way, his 100th National Hockey League playoff point. We move on our scoreboard. Toronto and Detroit. The Leafs are facing elimination, trailing in the series 3-1. They are tied 2-2, and we've got a goal for you in that hockey game. Al Iafrate, the former U.S. Olympian, with this shot from the point. And he puts Toronto ahead as he beats Glenn Hanlon 3-2. The Leafs now are in front. It was 2-2 prior to that goal. Elsewhere, Chicago and St. Louis. The Blackhawks are facing elimination, and they trail in this hockey game by a score of 3-1, despite a goal by Dennis Savard. Benning, Herkus have scored for St. Louis. They've got a 3rd goal now, and they lead that hockey game by a score of 3-1. Later starts tonight, Winnipeg and Edmonton. Winnipeg and Edmonton, yes, the Los Angeles Kings and the Calgary Flames. The Orioles, well, tonight they make their first start under newly appointed manager, Cal Ripken Sr. gone, so it's Frank Robinson in at the helm now in the 6th inning, we understand, at Memorial Stadium. The Orioles are trailing the Kansas City Royals by a score of 6-1. The Orioles still looking for victory number 1. They've lost 6 straight. Cal Ripken fired earlier today. You saw the news conference, and we spoke briefly with Roland Heeman prior to tonight's contest. We've got 3rd period action upcoming here on Home Team Sports. The Washington Capitals with a big hockey game, leading the Flyers by 3.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a stroll light, relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Look at this.
Tramp, my 3 sons.
Right. This is my favorite.
Benji.
Oh, I don't know how he does it.
It's amazing.
Stroh Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
No, here he comes. Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
We would like to reassure all parents who are expecting a child. Relax. Your child's delivery is in the right hands. TWA's Child Care Program.
The Corolla, it's beautiful. And from where the driver sits, it's even more beautiful.
How so?
Great handling, multi-valve performance, sporty interiors, beautiful. But I still keep thinking, this is a Corolla?
The new dimension, Corolla, legendary value, Toyota quality.
Home Team Sports brings you the teams you want to see. The Orioles, the Capitals, the Bullets, the playoffs. So call now to subscribe and you'll receive the Home Team Sports magazine free. Plus a special bonus section with discount coupons including 2-for-1 Oriole tickets. Home Team Sports Preview Marathon. It's free for a limited time, so call your cable operator now and sign up for Home Team Sports.
A big second period for the Washington Capitals. They pulled in front of the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 5-2 in Game 5 of the Patrick Division semifinal round. Mike Fornes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our Home Team Sports coverage. And what a second period that was to catch fire. The Caps taking a page out of Sunday night's game where they got the big lead. Mike Keenan drawing a little bit on Sunday's experience as well, making a goaltending change. We've still got 20 minutes to settle this game, though.
How many times do you think in the Capitals locker room the expressions, let's go after them, don't lay back, finish things off? They've got to. It's something that they've had to learn the hard way, but it's at least something that they should have learned, and now we will keep a close eye on just what style of play the Capitals fashion.
Let's take a look at our TWA shot chart to show you how things went in the second period. For the Washington Capitals, 12 shots and 3 goals.
They didn't get the heavy concentration in that slot area like they did in period 1, but they did get some great shots, and that shot by Kevin Hatcher was the one that finished off Ron Hextall. By the way, that Hextall diamond in the goal is because he was credited with a shot on goal at the other end for Philadelphia. But let's take a look at the Washington Capitals goals. And it's going to be Kevin Hatcher really getting things started. Now watch, you see how far over Hextall was. Ben Gustafson almost beat him coming across. Hextall appeared to be set, but is this not an absolutely perfectly placed shot? And again, it's on the stick side. That is where they were able to beat Ron Hextall quite a bit on Sunday, and that's what opened the floodgates. It's not the one that chased him. Number 2 in that period by Bobby Gould is the one that got him out of there. But Kevin Hatcher with assists from Gustafson and Pavanka right as a power play was ending. Now this is the coup de grace. Shorthanded, Gould chasing Craven. That's Sinisalo back. Those are 2 forwards playing the point, and that's Propp trying to chase him now, and watch the way Bobby Gould finishes things off. That's where you really saw that Hextall was not in the game, Mike. He went down much too early, gave Bobby Gould plenty to shoot at, and Gould made no mistake with the shorthanded tally on the assist from Kelly Miller. Then after Hextall was out, in comes Mark LaForest, and to greet him a few minutes later was Michael Pavanka. He forces the action. Instead of just laying back, he comes in and just redirects a perfect pass from David Christian. Christian's second assist of the night, Pavanka's 3rd goal of the playoffs, and the Capitals regained that 3-goal lead.
All right, let's go to our TWA shot chart now for Philadelphia and see how the Flyers had things going. They came on with a little better period in terms of the late part of the period, getting some shots on like they did in the first, but still not much effectively except that power play goal by Crossman.
No, and you can see how the Capitals then tighten up in front, did not allow a lot of second chances. We had talked about that earlier, and Doug Crossman was the man to get that goal 5-on-3.
All right, let's go downstairs right now to Jeff Rimmer.
Mike and Al, you may find this a little bit humorous. I don't know if the Washington Capitals will, though. Guess what I saw as I left the Home Team Sports studio and looked to my right where the Flyers were preparing to come out for period number 3. Some adjustments being made to the goalie sticks of both LaForest and Ron Hextall. Evidently, what's good for one side might not be good for the other. You understand what I'm saying? Back upstairs now for 3rd period action. All right, so Jeff Rimmer reporting that the Capitals may not have a chance to challenge Ron Hextall and his stick if it comes down to it. The Capitals are going to have to attack that man. They put a pretty good play on him. With the Michael Pavanka goal, they're going to have to give him more shots and continue to protect the front of the net of Pete Peters.
Here we go with period number 3. The puck cleared out to center ice, and Poulin taps it back to his own line for Mark Howe. Now Shell Samuelson drives it back into the corner. Gary Galley, back of the net over to Scott Stevens. And off the stick of Gustafson, it goes all the way back inside Philadelphia ice. Mark Howe ahead to Poulin. Poulin up to Samuelson. Left wing side for Propp. He's across the blue line. Back into the corner. Propp to Poulin right in front, and Scott Stevens is there. Kerr wrapped up with Gustafson inside the Flyers zone. And out comes Brian Propp. At the blue line, Zezel a long shot that goes wide, and now Tocchet puts it to the side of the net. Here's Kevin Hatcher to start out. Lead pass, left wing side. Kelly Miller. Across the line. Hatcher drives it back in. Ridley over to check Zezel. And out to center ice. Here comes Sinisalo to Marsh, and his wrist shot's wide into the corner. Back to the point. Crossman had it outside the line, and as he brings it back in, the Flyers called offside.
Mike, the early moments show you what the Capitals at least are going to try and do for these first 5 to 10 minutes of the period. Not just content to have one man deep in forechecking. They've been dropping a couple in and trying to put pressure on what they hope right now is a very weary Philadelphia defense. And again, when Mark Howe and Kjell Samuelsson are not out on the ice, put the heat on Crossman, put the heat on Marsh, because we've seen very little of Greg Smith and absolutely nothing of Kerry Huffman. So a good way to really add to that lead, if not protect it outright, is force the turnovers, bottle up the Philadelphia Flyers. Don't let them out of their zone with any kind of ease.
Here comes Howe across the line, and once again, Philadelphia called offside. There may be Capitals fans, Al, who are wondering about young Chris Felix from the Canadian Olympic team, who the Capitals had called up from the Fort Wayne Comets of the International Hockey League. He played in Game 4 at the Spectrum, is not playing tonight. We didn't have him listed in the scratches. He is here and available to play, and he has been scratched from the Washington lineup, so they did not send him back to Fort Wayne. Here's Murphy, tosses it rink wide, and Ivan Korovo gets a stick on it, pushes it out to center ice. Hunter ties up, the puck goes off the stick of Sundstrom. Now Howe back to take it. Here's Mark Howe, rushing to the Washington line. Larry Murphy with a well-placed stick check. Clears it out, the Flyers dump it back in. Murphy behind the net. He's crunched into the corner, the puck cleared out of the zone to center. Mark Howe back to get it, off the stick of Sutter. Ledyard takes over for the Capitals. He pushes it out to Hunter. Led to center ice. Ledyard knocks it down, carries it back across the line. Grant Ledyard into the corner. Greg Smith ties him up for Philadelphia. And out come the Flyers on the attack. Here's Derek Smith, right wing side for Mellanby. Bob Gould holds him up, goes after Mellanby in the corner. And Ledyard works it free. Ledyard out to neutral ice. Samuelsson dumps it right back in. Galley leaves it behind the net. Out to Stevens. Off the boards for Greg Adams. Adams dumps it in from center ice. Leach to the corner. Craven ties him up. Adams back to throw a hit on Samuelsson. Kerry Huffman out there now for Philadelphia. We've got a penalty call coming for high sticking against Washington's Greg Adams. And that'll give the Flyers the power play advantage here. The time of the call, 3:08 of the third period.
Well, it's great to go after the Flyers and really start bumping them around, but you get the sticks up and give Philadelphia opportunities on the power play. You can't keep killing it that way. Well, we welcome those of you seeing Home Team Sports for the very first time during our preview marathon. Don't forget, tomorrow night, we bring you live coverage of Frank Robinson's debut at the helm as he takes over for Cal Ripken as manager of the Orioles. The Orioles back home and a game with the Kansas City Royals. See Frank Robinson's debut as manager of the Birds tomorrow night. Game time is at 7:30. And if you'd like to join us on Home Team Sports year-round, just give your local cable operator a call. They'd be happy to hook you up with us. Hockey, basketball, baseball, indoor soccer, and great college basketball and other sports action. There you see Adams got the stick up there in response to an elbow from Kjell Samuelsson and gets the call from Terry Gregson on the retaliation.
Power play hockey for the Flyers. Here comes Crossman to start out. Moves ahead to center ice. Dumps it back inside the Washington zone. Here's Kevin Hatcher starting out shorthanded. Over now to Scott Stevens. He puts it back inside the Philadelphia zone. Flyers come out. Crossman. Dumps it back in the Capitals end and off the sideboards. It's to the point. Trop keeps it in. Over to Crossman. Sinisalo to the side of the goal. Craven tries to go to Kerr, and Gustafson steals and clears.
Great work by the forwards. Peter Sundstrom laid the stick down to prevent that pass coming through clearly to Kerr. Gustafson was there to clear that rebound.
Here's Tocchet, dumping it back inside the Washington zone. Peters leaves it there, and Stevens winds up and clears it out to center ice. Kelly Miller pushing it onward. Back inside the Philadelphia zone as Howe is back behind the goal. 35 seconds to go. And the penalty call to Greg Adams. The Capitals lead 5-2. Gary Huffman puts it back to the net. And it's cleared to the point by Hatcher. Howe keeps it in the corner. Zezel back to Tocchet. Stevens gets a stick on it. Moves it up the board. Bobby Gould races to get to it, but it comes right in front. There's Hatcher to send it the rest of the way. Time runs out on the Philadelphia power play, and Greg Adams ready to go, and he jumps back on the ice. Washington is at full strength. The puck cleared to center. Here's Howe back after it. Chased by Adams. Here comes Howe, a slap shot. Stopped by Peters. He covers the rebound. There's a break in the action. Well, we've got a tie-up behind the goal now here. The action hasn't quite stopped. Tocchet is being held away, and underneath that big pileup of players, there's a linesman in there somewhere, but looks like Mike Wrigley. Pretty near the center of it.
I think Ron's center also, Mike.
Well, they've got it broken up, so we can pause now for this break in the action with a score: the Capitals 5 and the Flyers 2.
The best beer in the world comes from Germany, and the best German beer in America is Beck's. So drink the best of the best. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Michael Pavanka, Washington Capitals. Power play.
In business, it's survival of the fittest.
George & Company, big and tall men's shops. The best fit.
On our Stroh's out-of-town scoreboard, wild one between the Islanders and the Devils. Series tied, but you can see New Jersey now has gone ahead by 1 goal, 3-2. They're still in the second period. Back upstairs to Mike and Al. All right, thank you, Jeff. The penalties, Tocchet and Peter Sundstrom, 2 minutes each for roughing at 5:23. See the great play by Mark Howe. Capitals should have eliminated him with the blue line, but he makes that one little leak, buys time, and forces Pete Peters into a good save.
Hunter to work against Ron Sutter. Shot right on net. Peters makes the stop, and Ledyard clears it over into the corner. Ledyard tying up behind the goal. Hunter in there to sprawl on top of Sutter. And the puck cleared all the way down. LaForest way out of the net. Takes a page out of the Hextall book. Clearing it to Sutter. A very effective pass. Over now to Derek Smith. Right in front. Mellanby tried to ram it home on the backhand. And Peters just got enough of it. He was out to really make that angle difficult, and that's what made the difference. Crowd applauding Pete Peters.
Larry Murphy got caught napping. Mellanby snuck in behind him. The Capitals had plenty of people back. But look at this terrific pass over. Everybody collapsed in the middle. Nobody pays attention to Mellanby. And it's up to Pete Peters again to save the day. Now watch Murphy. His attention, along with Dale Hunter, is over at the puck carrier. Nobody drops back to Mellanby. That shot may have eventually gone wide, but Pete Peters did not take any chances. Capitals have to be a little more alert to the plays breaking off the wing.
Penalty calls coming at 5:27 of the third period to Tocchet and Sundstrom. 2 minutes each for roughing. Doesn't affect the manpower. Here's Greg Smith of the Flyers. Out to Prop. At center ice, Mike Gartner takes over. He's across the line. He flips it in front for Ridley, but it goes to the corner. Right in front now for Miller, and off his skate. It's to the backboards, and it's frozen.
Here's Mike Gartner trying to make something happen, not content to just dump a shot in or dump something out on the boards. He does a little stick handling and makes the play and just misses Mike Ridley. Watch Gartner. Has a chance to just dump something, but makes another little spin because he knew Mike Ridley was there. Now Ridley hustling after it, right in front. Kelly Miller alone, but cannot get a shot away as the Flyers, Greg Smith, helps him off his skates. And with Miller falling on the puck and freezing it, the faceoff will come outside of the Philadelphia blue line.
Philadelphia had not one player with more than one shot during the second period. The Capitals, Hatcher with 2, Gustafsson 3, and Pivonka with 2 shots on goal during period number 2. Washington, by the way, has yet to record a shot on goal in this third period. The Flyers have 2. And there's the third as Peters kicks it out, and Hatcher starts out to Gustafsson. Led ahead on the left wing, beyond Pivonka into the corner. And it's whistled down there, icing against Washington.
This has been a real difficult playoff series for Brad Marsh, a guy I think of when I talk about defensemen perfectly suited for playoff competition, particularly in this division. He was always my #1 man, a guy along with Rod Langway, who was so great at the clutch and grab, but has seemed to have slowed down a bit, and I think maybe the case with his numerical counterpart in Washington, not having the same degree of confidence that he's had over the past couple seasons, but a man who can be a dominator on defense in playoff type of hockey. Now, Kerry Huffman getting some more ice time, and been out there earlier in this period for the first time in a long while with some power play duty, now out there with Doug Crossman at even strength.
Sutter against Dale Hunter. With 13:11 to go in the third period. Here's Huffman. Shot blocked by Bob Gould. Fought for, and finally Galley sends it outside the line. Huffman puts it right back in. Sutter's obviously offside as he goes back. Face-off comes to neutral ice.
Well, let me ask you, Mike Thorns. Here we've got just about 7 minutes of this hockey, a little more than 7 minutes of the hockey game played. You talk about the Capitals not putting a shot on goal, but would you say this has been a defensive, just hold on to the lead posture from the Capitals, or have they made the effort to go out and get after the Flyers?
No, I think they're going after them, and it's certainly a welcome change to see that type of play, especially in the wake of what happened Sunday in Game 4. Here comes Derek Smith cutting in. He's around Galley. Can't get it centered. Turnaround shot, and Mellanby throws it right through the crease, missing Stevens. Hunter picks it up. Starts out on the right wing to Bob Gould. Gould across the line. Huffman ties him up in the corner. Crossman back to take it. Lead pass outside the line, and Gould tosses it in. Coravo's offside, but doesn't touch the puck, so play continues. Now Crossman led ahead to center, just missing the stick of Mellanby. Peters takes a spill going to the corner after, but gets enough of it to clear the point. Poulin drives it back in. Pete Peters sends it up the board. Coravo out of the zone to center ice. Cross over to Howe. Left side pass to Poulin. Into the skates of Galley, and the Capitals come back 3-on-2. Here comes Ridley. Now a line change underway. Ridley's in alone, but Miller charges to the forefront. Cleared to the right point. Here's Murphy. Keeps it in. Behind the net, Samuelson. Up the boards and out of the zone. It rolls all the way back into the Capitals' end. The icing's waved off. Ledyard goes back to pick it up. Grant Ledyard up on the right wing for Gartner. Takes it offside. A play called offside out at neutral ice, and Gartner tried to slow down, but wasn't able to hold that skate long enough at the center ice line. Let's see what's happening in the other games out of town. Here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. All the action in the National Hockey League now underway. We checked that Stroh's out-of-town scoreboard. The Devils leading 3-2. The go-ahead goal scored by Conacher, his first of the playoffs. Hartford ahead of Montreal. The Whalers facing elimination. Buffalo is now only a goal behind after Tucker scores his 7th of the playoffs. Toronto and the Red Wings are tied 4-4. Chicago still trailing St. Louis 3-1 in the second period. Edmonton has gone ahead of Winnipeg on a goal by Messier. And Calgary and the Los Angeles Kings are underway. Hockenlube with goal number 6 on the playoffs. Back upstairs now to Mike Fornes and Al Koken, Caps by 3.
How about that Tony Herkus from St. Louis? Got another one tonight at 4 goals Sunday.
The Herkus Circus underway in St. Louis, and isn't always the story in the playoffs. You get just big games a lot of times from people you don't expect, and this is basically killing penalties and working only the power play. Not a lot of even strength shifts for Tony Herkus.
He can score and get hits like that. Maybe the Cardinals should sign it.
A shot early in the season again from that prep runner Cincinnati Redskins.
Here's Hatcher dumping it across the line. LaForest oversteps the puck, and that allows Howe to pick it up. Finally, the Flyers clear it. Here's Sinisalo. He's by Hatcher, cuts in, centers it. Peters makes the save to stop Murray Craven. Samuelson's helmet has come off now as he and Greg Smith are all tied up at the side of the net. Hatcher sticks his nose in there as well. And it looks as though we've got a penalty call coming from Terry Gregson. The time of the call, 8 minutes, 58 seconds of the third period.
Well, as you know they're going to do, 3 goals down. The Flyers sending those defensemen, and particularly Samuelson and Howe. Samuelson way up on the play. Greg Smith doing the great job of tying him up. You got to keep that big guy away from the goal, and both of them get coincidental minor penalties.
Philadelphia, number 28, Shel Samuelson. For Washington, number 19, Greg Smith. 2 minutes each for high sticking. Time of the penalties, 8:58. Flyers penalty on number 28, Shel Samuelson. Washington penalty number 19, Greg Smith. 2 minutes each for high sticking at 8:58.
It's an area of the game that I didn't think Shel Samuelson possessed, that ability to get up there and be creative in front of the net. When the Flyers acquired him from the New York Rangers, they were talking simply of his size and ability to move people away from the front of their net. But he really has shown me a lot in that ability to jump up on the play and not just be an extra body, be a guy who can really do something with the puck.
Greg Millen in goal, by the way, for St. Louis tonight against Darren Pang. Glenn Healy for the LA Kings against Mike Vernon of Calgary. Here's a look at the stick that Pete Peters is now using, and we're unable to tell whether it is a different Malarchuk model or a different Pete Peters model. I don't believe it to be the same stick of Malarchuk's that Peters used during the second period. I think it's a different stick.
I think it's a Malarchuk stick just wrapped the way Peters likes it.
There's a shot just wide, and Peters reaches out and grabs it. He no doubt has no other sticks back in the stick room that are any different, and is forced to use the Malarchuk model because of the legal size of the paddle, which should only affect him on a high stick shot. Pete likes to use that blocker, and if he's got time to get that on it, he's going to use that anyway, as opposed to the stick.
Well, the other thing with those couple of inches, it's where that blocker pad glove comes down to it and where he feels comfortable in that regard in his setup position.
Could leave the stick off the ice a bit if he doesn't bend over properly. I think his stance probably accounts for most of that. There's a hit behind the goal, and Hatcher sends the puck to the boards. Mark Howe tries to flip it in front. It's played by Hunter out to center ice for Christian. Crossman comes back to Eklund. Now over to Howe. Mark Howe ahead for Prop, and he throws it inside the Washington zone. Provonka to center ice. Now over to Crossman. Tocchet up to Prop. He's across the line. He's hit by Hatcher and sends the puck to the corner. Stevens back to chase it. It comes to Christian. He pops it out of the zone. Here's Hatcher. Off the boards, back into the Flyers zone. This will be icing. Both sides are ready for line changes anyway with 9:56 to go in the third period.
hear some boos? It's unbelievable, isn't it? You've got 9:56 left to go. The home team on top by 3 goals, and because they've yet to put a shot on goal, these fans are getting on them, already booing. It's one thing if they hadn't put a shot on goal and Philadelphia had scored something and was really attacking. How can you start booing this team when they're up by 3? This is something of no confidence whatsoever from the Washington Capital fans that are booing.
It's definitely the minority of the people who are, as you point out. I was just about to say that as those people learn more about hockey, they probably would stop booing. But now producer Phil Brown points out that they even booed the Redskins during the playoffs. What are you going to do, right?
If they boo Santa Claus in Philadelphia, I guess you can boo the home team in Washington with a 3-goal lead.
Here's Larry Murphy to start out. Brings it ahead to Greg Adams. Adams tips it off the boards back inside the Flyers zone. Taken away by Ron Sutter out to center ice. Murphy's knocked down but clears the puck ahead to Gould. He gives to Adams. Adams hit by a double punch of Flyers against the sideboards as both Marsh and Sutter crashed into it. Now here's Mellenby cutting in. Fires. Peters a blocker pad save and comes right back out to Bob Gould. Flyers change up on the fly. Here comes Gould to center ice. He's across the line. Fires it past Greg Smith of Philadelphia to the goal, and LaForest puts it in the corner. Marsh back there now to hang on. Back of the net. Prop rushed by Kelly Miller. Up the boards. Bobby Gould has it. Ties up with Mellenby. The puck cleared all the way down by Philadelphia, and Galley is back for it. Icing is the call with 8:51 to go in the 3rd period of the game.
It's tough to win on the road unless you have a Cellular one-car phone. A Cellular one-car phone will make you more productive and keep you ahead of the competition. In Washington, call 220-2000, and in Baltimore, 1-800-CELLONE. Took 10 minutes, 51 seconds before the Capitals finally got their first shot on goal of this period. The shots are now even at 27. Flyers, of course, coming into the period with 22. Capitals with 26, so Philadelphia with a 5-1 advantage here. That's not a lot of shots for a team that you know is going to be coming out and gunning like the Flyers are.
No. Gartner tries to work it free from the faceoff, but it comes out to Poulin at center ice. It's a 2-on-1 Flyer break. Poulin with Kerr, fires, Peters the save. The rebound cleared by Stevens. Markow a high drive off the glass. Now Miller to the corner. Jams up with Kerr. Over to Gary Galley. Galley leads it ahead, and Gartner chases it down the right wing. He and Howe collide, and Howe takes a nice dive and is going to get away with it here. There's going to be a penalty call coming against Washington. A minor for hooking. That'll put the Flyers on the power play with 8:17 to go in the 3rd period. 11:43, the time of the penalty. There's a break in the action with a score, the Capitals 5 and the Flyers 2.
Brooks Robinson for All-Star Chevrolet, where our everyday low sale prices means big savings for you. At All-Star Chevrolet, you need just $500 down, cash or trade, and that puts you in an 88 Cavalier for just $125 a month, or an 88 Sprint for just $108 a month. And All-Star sale prices include freight. $500 down, cash or trade, now at All-Star Chevrolet. Tell them Brooks sent you.
Mike Gartner in the box for the Capitals. A hooking penalty at 11:43. Is this a dive or what? The guy with that kind of agility on his skates was removed awful easily when the stick was on the outside of the body, not wrapped around in front in the classic hooking motion.
Prop from center ice, dumps it in. Big penalty for the Capitals to kill Gartner off the ice. Flyers trying to stage a comeback, and the Capitals forced to play defensively here. But remember, they have a shorthanded goal in this game already. Notice this time on the power play, we've got Crossman out there with Prop on the point. Prop tosses to the corner. Scott Stevens winds up, slaps to the point. Crossman keeps it in. Now back to Scott Stevens, and he clears it all the way down. Here's Eklund. Out of Crossman, left wing side. Prop to the blue line. Up to Sinisalo. Pat Hatcher to Gould. Flips to center, and this goes all the way back into the Flyer end. Kerr and Sinisalo to the bench, and out comes Zesel now for Philadelphia, along with Murray Craven. Right wing pass from Tocchet is stolen, and again the puck cleared back to the Flyers zone. 50 seconds to go in the penalty call to Mike Gartner. Crossman works to center ice. Passes to Howe. He cuts in. This time Smith does hook him off the play, and there will be a penalty. Greg Smith had to put the lumber on him there, and he pulls Mark Howe down. And now some stick waving going on between Tocchet and Stevens behind the net.
This is a legitimate call and a good play by Greg Smith, although a bad play generally by the Capitals defense to let Howe, of all people, a guy who should be quarterbacking and not being the beneficiary of the pass, break in 5-on-4 at that blue line. Greg Smith will take the call, but here we go with a 5-on-3, and remember the last time Philadelphia had 5-on-3, it took them only 5 seconds to score. 6:54 left to go in this game. A Flyer goal certainly changes the complexion. We've already heard a pretty fair segment of Washington Capital fans in this building booing the club, even though they've been on top.
Don't forget, Al, that Crossman goal also was a 5-on-3. So we'll get Gartner in the box, 37 seconds. 2 minutes up there now to Smith. 13:06 the time of that call, and let's see who comes out this time. Brian Murray sends Hatcher on with Stevens and Gustafson. Sinisalo with Propp, Craven, Samuelson, and Doug Crossman. There's the current model of Sherwood employed by Pete Peters.
This faceoff is real critical. The Capitals did not win the last draw, and Philly had easy control. Same alignment. Crossman over on that right point.
Propp over to Crossman, and here he goes to take the shot. This time Samuelson gets the call. It's interference. Wow, he knew it.
I tell you, Mike, the Capitals were beaten on the draw, and the Flyers had exactly the same shot set up. Crossman in the identical spot that he scored on before, but this time Samuelson too eager to get in front of the net and took Scott Stevens away, preventing Stevens from getting over there, and Gregson makes the call on that one. What a huge play.
So just 2 seconds later, after the Greg Smith Capitals penalty, here Shell Samuelson goes off the ice for interference at 13:08.
It's just unbelievable how exact a replica of that first 5-on-3 goal that was. The same people winning the same draw, Propp right over to Crossman and ready to unload when Terry Gregson blew the whistle.
From the draw, here's Hatcher back in his own zone. Capitals still short one skater. In 25 seconds, they'll be even. A very brief 2-second power play will follow. Here's Crossman. Up to Sinisalo. Back to the point for Propp. Into the corner, Sinisalo. Tries to center. It's blocked by Gustafson. And now over on the boards, Crossman goes to take it. Back to Craven. Here's Scott Stevens picking an opening. He clears it all the way down the ice. Perfect timing. Mike Gartner just jumped out of the box, and Washington is now back at even strength with the Flyers. 4-on-4 hockey here for another minute and 10 seconds. Then Greg Smith comes back for the Capitals. Gartner down the right wing, a slap shot, and a skate save made by LaForest. Back to Craven. He's bumped hard by Kelly Miller. Gartner works to the corner. Craven's after it. Gartner willing to take it outside the line here to set the attack up again. Here he comes. The Flyers in a line change. Gartner with a deke. A shot. It's bounced in front. Miller tries to backhand it toward the net. Gartner takes it behind the goal. Huffman knocks him down on the play. Nothing's called. The Flyers come out. Here's Mark Howe rushing to center. Howe to the blue line. He's in with Eklund and Tocchet. Howe to the corner. Chased by Scott Stevens. To the point man, Huffman. His drive, stick save made by Peters. Tocchet tries to center. Scott Stevens flips it out and all the way down and right on goal. 12 seconds until Greg Smith comes back for the Capitals. 2 more seconds, and then the Flyers will get Samuelson out. Tocchet back to center. Kerry Huffman to his own line. 5 minutes to play here in the third period. Washington with a 3-goal lead. Grant Ledyard up to center. Drives it in. Right on. LaForest with the save. Into the corner. Here comes Kerr. Out to Kerry Huffman, whose ice time is picked up here in the third period. And Philadelphia's offside. Al, it was about at this precise moment in the Sunday game that Washington's lead had already been cut to 4-2, and Propp was about to begin the Flyer onslaught. So people are leaving this building right now, and little do they perhaps realize that this game is still very definitely changeable, although the Capitals hope to keep it exactly where it is with a 5-2 lead. But the Philadelphia onslaught began at just about this spot on Sunday night, and they had goals from Propp and Samuelson to tie it. There's a 3-goal lead for Washington right now. Here's Christian to Ridley, a high drive. That's knocked down. Dave Brown whips it off the boards to center ice. Can the parking lot situation be that bad? You wouldn't want to see the end of this game.
A lot of office workers to get there at 7 tomorrow.
Here's a drive, and Peters kicks that off the corner glass. Now Kevin Hatcher back to play. Works to center ice. He drives it in. Flyers and Capitals with line changes underway. 3:40 to go. Everybody back on the ice for both clubs, and Hatcher has it at his own zone. Leaves it go, and Peters lofts it to the corner. That almost made its way over the glass. Up the boards and past Stephen Leach out to center ice. Bob Gould chases it now. He's being hooked by Howe. And Derek Smith starts back for Philadelphia. Smith on his backhand, throws it to the net. Peters makes the save. Now a pass over to Stephen Leach on the right wing. Leach to center ice for Gould. Gould across the red line. Inside the Philadelphia zone, a wrist shot. Blocks. LaForest plays it off the corner boards. Crossman tries to kick it free, gets it over to Derek Smith. Here comes Smith out to center. Now for Brad Marsh. Mellenby. In across the line, backhand shot. Peters makes the pad save. Scott Stevens flips it all the way down. It's slowing up. I think the icing's about to be waved off, and it is not. It is called icing against the Capitals, and the faceoff will go back into the Washington zone. I thought they might wave it off because of the slow movement of the puck, allowing the Flyer defense to nearly catch up to it, but the ruling is they could not have played it, and the faceoff goes back to the Washington zone. Here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Let's bring everybody up to date on the Stroh's Out of Town scoreboard. The Devils have now gotten a goal from Broughton, his first of the playoffs. They lead the Islanders by 2. The series tied, remember, 2-2. Again, the Whalers stave off elimination. A final from the Forum. They beat the Canadiens by 2 goals. Boston's gone ahead of Buffalo by 1. Middleton with his second of the game and goal number 3 of the playoffs. Toronto and the Red Wings are tied 5-5. The Leafs try to stay alive in their series. Chicago try to stay alive and come back to tie the Blues at 3. They're in the second period. Edmonton now up by 2 over Winnipeg. And the Los Angeles Kings and the Calgary Flames tied 1-1. We'll have finals for you and updated scores on our post-game show. Stay tuned. Back upstairs now to Mike and Al.
All right, Jeff, some fascinating stories going on Long Island. Those New Jersey Devils about to take control of that series. If things continue the way they are now, Capitals staying alive here with 2:39 left to go, 5-2 lead.
Here's Galley to the backboards, over to Scott Stevens, and now out to Sundstrom. He flips to center ice. Huffman directs it back into the Washington zone. Stevens all the way down, but right on net. LaForest makes the stop. Certainly no icing there. Out to center ice. Here's Stevens to dump it in once more. Huffman back of the goal. Out to Craven. It hits the skate of Galley. Hunter sends it again back inside the Flyer zone. Capitals thinking defensively now. Stevens out there again. He goes to chase Zezel to the corner. And Scott Stevens runs hard to the corner and rubs his man out. Here comes Sundstrom on a breakaway. Sundstrom held up by Samuelson, drops the pass for Gustafson. Bengt Gustafson into the corner for Pavanka. Now it's taken away to the sideboards, and Marsh has Gustafson right on him. They collide in the corner. Craven comes in, throws it behind the net. Kjell Samuelson with Pavanka hitting it. The puck cleared out of the zone, back to the Washington line. A minute and a half to go in this game. Regulation time. Pavanka, a shot that's wide of the net. Washington leads 5-2 over the Philadelphia Flyers. Derek Smith takes a pass across 2 lines, but we've got a penalty call behind the play. Brad Marsh is being sent off the ice for slashing, and that will really just about seal the fate for the Flyers here, who will now be down a skater with only 1:23 to go.
Marsh had Gustafson all tied up in the corner, but as the two came up ice, Marsh responded with the slash, and Brian Murray's team has come back and come back strongly. Boy, you have to be impressed with the way they did it. Instead of being negative, instead of dwelling on what happened the other night, which certainly was a disastrous moment for the Washington Capitals, and it still may be something that they will not overcome, because this game does go on to Philadelphia.
A long way
but
to
you
go.
have to love the way they have come back tonight and finished it strongly. Came out, took the lead, took things to the Philadelphia Flyers, and kept up the pressure. It may be too little too late. We still will have to see, but you never know. And the way the Capitals have been playing this year in the Spectrum, and the way Ryan Hextall has been so suspect in goal, and that Philadelphia defense, other than Samuelson and Howe, has been suspect, we could be very well right back here.
Here's the wrist shot that's on net. LaForest stops that. And now Adams gets a quick escort from the goal mouth by Brian Propp. Al, I agree with you, and if anything, it's a more convincing win certainly than Game 2 was, not only because of the goals against, and there are some similarities. There was a shorthanded goal scored in that game by Washington too, by Peter Sundstrom. Hextall gets booed as he is viewed on the telescreen here in this building. But not only that, the Capitals have not allowed any comeback by Philadelphia here in the third period of this game. Remember that goal that was scored by Propp with only 5 minutes to go or so in the third period of Game 2. The Flyers definitely had a comeback going. It wasn't a good goal, and it had everybody wondering, would the Caps be able to hold on? There's been little question here in the third period about that tonight. Here's a backhand shot, and a save is made, and the rebound sent wide. And now we've got a fight going at the side of the net. LaForest reaches in and grabs Greg Adams as Adams and Greg Smith tumble to the back of the net. And right away, the goaltender gets involved there as they try to get Greg Adams out of there. Adams and Smith appear to be the main combatants, but Mark LaForest very quickly involved. Looks like Sutter has been grabbed by Larry Murphy. Samuelson is being held by Dave Christian. Mellenby sticking his nose into it there. And here's Murphy and LaForest now starting to talk it over. Greg Smith being held away from the altercation. Greg Smith of the Flyers. I don't know, I'm not one to say throw any punches, but would Larry Murphy get any points for the fans here if he just started wailing on LaForest right now?
Oh, he sure would, but I'll tell you, he'd be a marked man.
It wouldn't be Larry Murphy, though.
He'd be a marked man come Thursday in Philadelphia. But
He
shouldn't
sure
Mark
would.
LaForest be thrown out of this game? That was third man into me.
Very clearly.
And there are cheers for Larry Murphy as he appears on the tell screen. And Mark LaForest is being taken to the dressing room. That is third man, so back will come Ron Hextall. Now watch how this happens. Corvo makes a terrific play out of the corner. Then the scramble, you see the slash of the stick from Greg Smith, and Greg Adams was not going to wait. In goes LaForest, then Corvo to take LaForest. Now Grant Ledyard wants to get a piece at somebody. That's Greg Smith over at the bench in front of the Capitals bench. LaForest has been thrown off the ice. Hateman now has got Greg Smith. I would think Ledyard now probably picked up some misconduct time.
Greg Smith of the Flyers also kicked out. Yeah, LaForest wasn't even involved in that thing with Adams there in front of the goal. That was between Adams and Smith, and LaForest made himself a part of it.
Now the fans get a chance to give some more grief to Ron Hextall, who must come in because of the ejection of Mark LaForest. What do you think, Mike, with this power play still on for the Capitals? Do you think Ron Hextall do a little wielding of that stick if he gets an opportunity in front? What is he going to lose? This is going to be a rather interesting 101.
2 minutes for cross-checking, 2 minutes for instigating, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. Goaltender for Philadelphia, a game misconduct. And number 22 for Washington, 5 minutes for fighting. Okay? So that means 4 minutes on the clock for Philadelphia. Correct, Joe. Yeah, that's right. I'll put a man in for him, right, okay? All set?
Here are the penalties for Philadelphia. Number 6, Greg Smith, 2 minutes for cross-checking, 2 minutes for instigating, 5 minutes for fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. For Philadelphia, number 33, goaltender Mark LaForest, a game misconduct. For the Capitals, number 22, Greg Adams, 5 minutes for fighting. Time of the penalties, 18:59. Flyers penalties.
Well, if this game wasn't already well in hand, it'd be a tremendous lift for the Washington Capitals as they really have huge, huge advantages in the manpower situation.
A game misconduct. The Capitals, number 22, Greg Adams, 5 minutes of fighting. Time of the penalties.
Cross-checking, instigating, fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct to Philadelphia's Greg Smith. The obvious game misconduct to Mark LaForest, and just 5 minutes for fighting to Greg Adams. So the Capitals could really pour a little gasoline onto this fire and heat it up to go to Philadelphia with a 5-on-3 for the rest of the game. Make the Flyers pay a little more here, and that'd be the type of embarrassment that Philadelphia rarely lets go by without some sort of response. Look how far Hextall is out of that net playing the puck.
Here's Poulin throwing it back into the corner of the Washington zone. Larry Murphy starts the rush. At the line. It's poked out to center. Ledyard can take his time. .25 seconds to go. Murphy dunks it into the corner for Christian. Here's Christian behind the net. Samuelson gets a piece of it. Now Ron Sutter picks it up and turns behind the goal on his backhand. And now we've got a penalty call coming here.
What'd I tell you? Ron Hextall. David Christian passing in front. Ron Hextall shoving out with the glove and the stick. Absolutely no control. You knew in this situation he'd love to get a little something going with the Capitals. Watch it. David Christian not even in the crease. He's moving away from him, and look at Hextall with that stick. Anything to try and get something stirred up.
2 minutes for high sticking at 19:09.
Do you get the feeling that this is going to get real ugly in Philadelphia on Thursday, Mike?
I think it could well approach the third game. And a lot of that's going to depend on the official. But a lot of it's going to depend on most of it's going to depend on the players. But how the officials react to that, how they penalize the players, will certainly decide whether it gets as bad as Game 3 was in Philadelphia. But I think the tone could be very comparable. Very comparable. Only 11 seconds to go here. Corvo pulled to the ice by Tocchet. Leach scrambles. Tocchet, or rather Leach knocked down now. Time runs out. The puck cleared all the way down, and that's the game. And Ivan Corvo gets out of there from in front of the net immediately as the Washington Capitals have won their second game of this series. And now it is 3-2 favoring the Philadelphia Flyers, with game number 6 coming up at the Spectrum on Thursday night, and the Capitals would play a 7th game on Saturday, April 16th, and tickets are available at all the usual ticket outlets. Abe Pollin, the Capitals owner, standing downstairs and congratulating the players as they come off the ice. Very proud of this hockey team, I'm sure, for the way they played in tonight's game.
Assists Mike Gustafson. The same Saturday night for Game D, 7:30.
That's got to be the Capitals' battle cry right now. They still have faith, as it's now a 3-2 story in the series. Here's Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike. Good evening, everybody. With us, Bobby Gould, who I thought scored the biggest goal of the hockey game tonight, a shorthanded goal. But, Bobby, before we even describe your goal, we've seen what's been written. We've heard what's been said. What did the players say in the dressing room before this hockey game?
Well, Jeff, we're not looking any farther ahead than what we did tonight's game. If we don't win tonight, then we don't play the next night. So it was just in the dressing room, the big talk was just focus on the game tonight, every period. Don't go ahead and we got ahead. Don't worry about playing the next night. Worry about every shift, every period that we had tonight, and we were very successful at it.
We're going to get a chance to talk to Scott Stevens in a moment. His return had to really boost the lineup tonight.
Well, you can see Scotty he makes a big difference out there. Moving the puck and physically he takes the body well. For a guy that played injured, he didn't look too bad out there.
Absolutely. We're going to get a look at that big goal tonight, the shorthanded effort. Maybe you describe it for us.
Well, Kelly, we fought along the boards here. Chips out, you can see. They fumble it again. You see where Kelly picks it up right here. And I knew if he got it to me, I was going to get a breakaway. Right about here, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. But Ron Hextall made the move there. And I didn't have much play. I just had to pretty well shoot at the net. So.
Little Mike Gartner speed, right?
Well, it looked like it out there, but I think I got a good head start, and that's what helped me out.
All right, go join your teammates, and we'll see you Thursday.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bob Gould, our first guest. We're going to be back here now with Scott Stevens right after this. Oh, we're going to go now. All right. Scott Stevens, I'm sorry. Thought we were going to do some commercials here. Scott, big win for the hockey club tonight.
Well, definitely. The guys played great. We held on to the lead, which we had to do. Tough when we lost the other night, and tonight we really held the lead, and we went at them. We didn't sit back. We kept putting pressure on them, and that was a big difference.
I thought the way the hockey club came up, particularly in the first period, was a big key to this win.
Well, definitely. We had to come hard and let them show that we're not going to give up and fold our tents and go home. We're going to come and play hard and make them want to go back to Philadelphia and say, let's forget about here tonight and go back to Philadelphia and win it. So we had to come out hard in the first period.
Good effort. I know you want to join your teammates. Thanks for sticking around.
Thank you, Jeff.
Scott Stevens of the Washington Capitals. Now we're going to take this commercial break and then be back with more of our post-game show here on Home Team Sports.